base?
Impossible. Smuggler Ornis have standard-issue transponder masking.
They do. But our cover wasn't blown by the Harks or the Imperials. It was blown by our own side. Of course they would recognize their own transponder mask.
What did you do to us, Stisk? We can never go home now.
Sorry, Val. If there was any other way...
Any other way to do what? Betray and steal from our own?
She doesn't care about the smugglers, Val. This is all about the Harks.
That's right. The Baron and all his sons will go to hell and take their city with them. Carthage can burn to the ground for all I care. Just like simple.
Millions could die.
Or they could live. If they get out in time.
What the blazes is the whole of Davros? This Granka hasn't moved in 10 minutes.
It's the crowd, sir. As you correctly surmised, they seem particularly agitated.
Blasted man! I told you to take the back way and damn the main thoroughfares.
This is the back way, sir. I'm getting reports from all precincts. The people are well lubricated and taking to the streets.
Father?
What, Ludmilla? Can't you bloody well see I'm working?
Oh, relax, dearest. The poor girl only said she has to...
Damn it! I told you all to go before we left. Davros, what do you suggest?
I haven't come, sir.
I'm asking about the mob, Davros. The angry, inebriated mob encircling us at this very moment.
Wait a second. All Communinet frequencies.
Put it through. This is Chome Communinet 1 with an emergency bulletin. At 21 local time, Karpik officials announced the death of famed gladiator Argus Ver. Further reports indicate widespread unrest throughout the city, as well as full-scale rioting at Amphitheater Square. Prefecture authorities have ordered the streets cleared, effective immediately, as a curfew is now in effect. Let's go live now to... I am surrounded by fools, darling. And not the drunken, slack-jawed apes cavorting just beyond. No, the fools I lament are the dead-eyed imposters within my own organization. The so-called prefecture authorities that have, for some unknowable reason, ordered a curfew and the streets cleared. Two orders that I, as the High Prefect of Carthage, with the most complete knowledge of our forces' capabilities, would submit, we have no bloody hope in hell of enforcing. Two orders that will, in the end, only serve to incite the drunken mob more, if not compel them to violence.
Darling, the girls are afraid.
Listen, girls, this is a Series 7 armored ground car. The same vehicle used in the Emperor's own livery. The Series 7 is renowned throughout the Imperium for its immense...
Amphitheater security has been overwhelmed, sir. The surrounding precincts are pulling back as well. Word is, this is escalating into a full-scale revolt.
Darling, if we don't survive this, I want you to know, I hate your entire family.
Mother!
Whatever happened to set this off, you can be sure there's a Harkonnen at the bottom of it.
Actually, sir, reports are coming in attributing both the alcohol and death of Argus Fear to a rogue smuggler and her crew. Still, I suggest we withdraw to the residence until the situation is secure.
Yes, Davros, get us out of here.
Sir, do you mean...
Yes, Davros. Engage the battering ram.
Very good, sir. Now would be a good time to ensure all your safety harnesses are well fastened. It gets quite bumpy at ramming speed.
live with purpose, hard work isn't an option. It's a necessity.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
A seasoned crew chief goes missing from an iconic harvester, and nothing is as it seems. In this tale of intrigue, betrayal, and deadly ambition, the sands of Arrakis hide many secrets. Join us now as we begin to unravel the dark and mysterious truth behind the disappearance of crew chief Jarek Thorne. It's Death on the Titan, Episode 1, Eye of the Storm.
It was my first time on the Sand Titan, but I knew it well.
Sector
Everyone did.
weather alert. A large
It was
sandstorm
the
is
last
approaching.
of the old Venport Demeter 4 super harvesters. A 6-deck factory harvester with a rebuilt Dyrmidium centrifuge. A rust-hued colossus that become more than its well-worn constituent parts. The Sand Titan had become a symbol of the Spice Miners Guild itself. Its silhouette was a well-known and comforting sight upon the dunes. But I wasn't there for the tour. I followed a long and circuitous route from Transport Thopter to Transport Thopter as I worked my way into the deep desert where the Sand Titan roamed. As a senior ombudsman for the Spice Miners Guild, it was my job to solve problems and make sure that the spice kept flowing. The spice wasn't flowing, though. The Sand Titan had been pinned down between two storm fronts and had gone dark for almost a week. That
Sector
in
weather
itself
alert.
wasn't
A large
unusual.
sandstorm is approaching.
The deep desert was known to be a chaotic wasteland with rapidly shifting weather patterns amongst other palpable dangers. Now, the unusual part was the content of a secure transmission from the command deck. It turns out there had been a suspicious death on the Great Harvester. And the crew was paralyzed with anger and fear. Unfortunately, anger and fear are bad for production. So I was ordered out of my comfortable existence in Arrakis to find the Sand Titan and make things right. As the last leg of my fragmented journey neared its completion, I examined Chief Thorne's guild record once more. Chief Thorne was a man of discipline and was well regarded by his crew. By all accounts, Thorne wasn't one to shirk his responsibilities or fail in his duties. Now, in fact, Thorne had never even been late for a single shift until that fateful night. My first interviews were with the tool pushers assigned to Thorne's shift.
He just didn't show up. I knew right away something was wrong, so I went down to check his cabin.
You wasn't there.
We were between two Coriolis fronts at the time. So we were running dark.
That means we were operating mechanical only. All electronic systems have to be shut down. Yeah, the heavy electromagnetic interference generated by the storms.
Anyhow, like I said, we were running dark. It means all holocams were offline. We had no quick way of finding them.
Yeah, Titan's a massive beast.
So, what did you do?
Someone's
We
here.
did it the slow way. Searched everywhere from the top down.
That's the command deck, the mess, the crew deck, the crew lounges, the intake deck, the processing deck, storage racks, shaft disposal.
Check the flight deck.
No, you think the edge of two hard-charging Coriolis fronts.
And what did you find?
Nothing. No one had seen Thorn anywhere.
It was like he vanished. Thin air.
Hours passed as the crew's anxiety reached its clock. Then, in the early morning light, shift supervisor, Lena Orlov, made a gruesome discovery.
I found him. His body had been pulverized in separator. I only knew it was him from the clotted tufts of blonde hair mixed into the stew of blood and bone.
Crew Chief Thorn was dead. That was for certain. And the circumstances of his death were anything but clear. But what might have been written off as an accident at first soon began to look more and more suspicious.
This isn't supposed to be possible. The mechanical separator had a failsafe built in, a dead man switch to prevent this very thing from happening. Someone had to deliberately override that and multiple other safety features to cause this.
At that point, Captain Andahar Noah, the Sand Titan's capable leader, sent his call for help before launching his own investigation. And among the crew, one name quickly rose to the surface. Deckhand Rico Marr. After an anonymous report, Rico had been investigated for skimming unprocessed spies, an offense that led to a heated confrontation with Crew Chief Thorn. Tell me, Tessa, how did you come to be in the crew lounge when Thorn and Rico came to blows?
It was Captain Noah's oath day. I was passing through the lounge on the way to pick up the cake.
And what did you see when you got there?
Thorn and Rico going at it. Well, there was a lot of yelling at first, but it got physical quick. I mean, Rico was a big guy, but Thorn knew how to fight and laid a beating on Rico. We separated them before it got too bad, but you see for yourself. The holocam caught the last part.
You think you can humiliate me like this? I'll be shitting teeth for a month. Count yourself lucky, thief. In the old days, they would have fed you to the mechanical separator. I have no bloody idea how that got there. I've never seen that before. The incident had been diffused, for the time being. But the tension between Thorn and Rico was palpable. Was it enough to drive Rico Marr to murder? That's what I was working to find out.
I was shift supervisor in Chief Thorn's next rotation.
And how would you characterize Thorn's state of mind?
Thorn was worried. He didn't report the fight with Rico straight away, which is weird for such a straight alley.
What happened next?
We don't know all the details, but holocam coverage tracked Rico to Thorn's cabin later the same night. There was some kind of second altercation.
Did Rico have an alibi for the time of Thorn's disappearance?
No, he didn't. He claimed he was in the fortress the whole time. But the storm front was closed in. We were running dark. There was no way to confirm the location with the holocams.
So, with suspicions mounting against the deckhand, Captain Noah ordered Rico Marr to the brig.
What we found next raised even more questions.
What am I looking at?
That's a mnemonic film wire containing a coded message to Thorn.
I knew exactly what it was, but I wanted to learn what the shift supervisor knew.
As far as we could tell, The code was based on old rifles used by Atreides signal intelligence.
The plot was thickening. Why was Thorn receiving secret messages from the Atreides? And why was that message in Rico's possession? I hadn't decided yet whether Rico was lying or not, but it seems the crew has made up their minds. Communications specialist Jeff Dolan was tasked with deciphering the secret message, and I tried to impress upon him the importance of doing a quick but thorough job. What started as a murder was rapidly becoming something else, and I had to get to the bottom of it quickly. The Spice Miners Guild had a mandate to remain neutral in the ongoing war of assassins, and had successfully done so thus far. Or had we?
Join us again next time, as new secrets are revealed, and we dive deeper into the enigmatic death of Crew Chief Jarek Thorne. But until then, stay vigilant and watch the sands, until death on the Titan returns.
is your master inspirator with the daily motivational. Today, we must remember, we don't work for recognition, but do work worthy of recognition.
Combine Hunted Communinet Theater presents an Arakeen Playhouse production of 5 Days at Carthage. Brought to you by the generous patronage of the Punisher Emperor and the tireless support of the Spice Miners Fellowship and Deletion Committee. And now, it's time to dim the lights and return with us to those fateful days before catastrophe came calling. It's part 2 of 5 Days at Carthage.
The Imperial Scenarist Guild has been provided unfettered access to the sealed records and testimonies of those who survived the Carthage incident. The following dramatization represents the official truth, as judged and signed by the Imperial Chamber Court and Aulic Council.
So let us journey then to the burning sands of Arrakis, a desert planet in a far-flung corner of the known universe. The year is 10-1-94, and the war of assassins between House Atreides and their ancient enemy House Harkonnen is well underway. We join our story in the bleak hills of the Simcoe Uplands, a barren and windswept place, devoid of any life. Devoid, but for the crew of smugglers carefully negotiating the rat-blasted hellscape.
The locals say these hills are haunted.
What locals? There are no locals. Not anymore.
Half-blind fortune teller in Arsum said these hills were wild with evil spirits.
She called them Jinn.
The bigger question is, how the hell a half-blind fortune teller in Arsum knew to talk about these hills at all? Did we not agree to keep quiet about coming here? Simple was a restricted sector. Sutter can't kill on sight if they find you.
I didn't say we were coming. I asked if it was haunted. Jingo and Max were saying it was, and I don't want any part of any ghosts or jinns or whatever.
So, what'd your half-blind fortune teller say?
He told us an old grabbing tale about the jinn. Angry spirits, born when someone dies suddenly and violently, without knowing the how or why of it. Sorry, Stisk. Mel said you had people in Simpo.
Contact. Get ready. Around the next bend on my mark. Go!
Hold up! Hold up!
What? What is it?
I didn't know what it was, but I got some on my boots.
I got it in my mouth.
Looks like it could have been a kit fox. Here's a bit of tail.
Boss, if anyone else is in this sector, that was very loud.
What are we doing here anyway? I'm told this is a restricted sector. The Sardaukar kill on sight.
This one's got a sense of humor. Let's kill her.
Ah, you can try.
Time to move.
We're here for an old family heirloom. A necklace I left in the care of my sister.
Didn't mark you as the sentimental type.
Sentimental got nothing to do with it. What's mine is mine. As long as my toad of a mother didn't find it and trade it for a pinch of spice.
What makes you think it isn't a harder pile of scrap with the rest of the place?
Maybe it is. That's what we're here to find out.
What is this stuff?
Regular old sand. Heated to 5,500 degrees.
Who did this?
Surprised you don't know. Your Honorable Duke was in the thick of it.
It was before she arrived on Arrakis, and not a story either side wishes to tell.
What story, Val?
Simpo was a Harkonnen village, even after Shaddam took Arrakis from us.
He means the village elders were bought and paid for.
Anyway, it seems the town water system had a crack in it, or a deficiency of some kind. But no matter how many times the village petitioned us for help, they were met with typical Harkonnen indifference. Granted, we had a war of assassins to wage, and there were other priorities. But that didn't sit so well with the younger folk in the town.
Seems that dying of thirst makes you cranky. Go figure.
So let me guess. They went behind your backs to the Atreides.
Yeah, you got a smart one here, Val. Don't screw it up.
Of course. Clever bastard Tufir Hawat immediately saw both the strategic and propagandic value in turning a Harkonnen stronghold. Duke Leto tasked his best men with the job.
You know, I don't think propagandic is a word, Big Ox.
What did the Harks do?
Harkonnen loyalists within the town began a campaign of sabotage to discredit the Atreides and undermine the sister project.
Typical Harkonnen treachery.
A superficial investigation uncovered the treachery. But the Atreides engineers couldn't prove their innocence. They were ultimately arrested.
I'm sure that didn't sit well with the Duke.
The Atreides acted quickly and decisively, deploying a full garrison to free their engineers and install the younger upstart villagers as the new town leadership.
I'm sure that fat slig of a Baron loved to hear that.
He did not. But he was spread too thin to do much about it. Even when the new town leadership formalized their fealty to House of Kings.
Good for them. Sorry, though, but your old crew were a band of snakes.
You must never be sorry for observing the truth. But at the same time, snakes are at their most dangerous when cornered.
What happened?
The Baron grew tired of losing ground to the Atreides, and dispatched the biggest snake of all to fix his nephew's problems.
Peter de Vries, the Lord High Snake himself.
Upon returning to Arrakis, Peter de Vries' first order of business was to organize the destruction of Simcoe, as a warning and message to those who contemplated disloyalty. A massive host of Harkonnen house troops arrived in the dead of night to encompass the town. Outnumbered and surrounded, it was all the Atreides could do to fall back and await reinforcements.
The Harkonnen went on to execute all 27 of the young villagers who collaborated with the Atreides. My sister Sigrid among them.
I did not know that.
Of course you didn't, kid, but I don't hold that against you. I hold it against every other living and breathing Harkonnen and anyone who serves them.
That still doesn't explain the melted sand.
When the sun rose the next morning, the Atreides emerged from their bunker to find the Harkonnens were gone. The relief was short-lived, though. Fire began to rain from the sky.
The Baron kept a stockpile of ancient siege artillery from the old Empire.
And did this?
The Atreides force and most of the town were incinerated in their beds. Just in time for a massive Coriolis storm to come along and blow away anything left behind.
Sorry to interrupt your great tragedy, but I think we have followed.
We are. The last 2 clicks or so. Keep going, we're almost there.
Almost where?
The rubble pile that used to be my home. This way. Here it is. Not much to look at topside.
Topside?
Cover me.
What's our door?
Guess I was born a smuggler. Pull it shut behind you.
Damn. It's all scorched and melted.
I was worried about that. The heat from the bombardment must have cooked this place like an oven.
So we came all this way for nothing.
Not for nothing. They're in business.
Huh. What kind of necklace is that?
Shit. I thought we'd have more time.
What's the plan here, boss?
Same as always. Kill them before they kill us.
What's waiting for us up there, Stisk?
Probably have the scabs in the Haga Basin.
So long, Scotties.
How are we on ammo? We don't have far to go.
We don't?
Trust me. We'll be back in Carthage before sundown. First round's on me. On 3, you're gonna put a full burst through the hatch.
And then?
We run like hell.
That's not a plan.
3, 2, shoot!
Multiple contacts! All around us!
Weapons hot! With me!
Reloading!
Reloading! Head for that ruined house!
By the way, boss, Carthage's been dry for months. East Raben has ordered a total prohibition on alcohol.
I know! He's a real bastard!
Then what are we drinking when we get there?
Oh, ye of little faith! On 3, the grenade and move. 3, 2, grenades out! God. Almost there. Where? Box Canyon. Just down this grade.
A box canyon? That doesn't sound good.
Go, go, go! Keep going. All the way to the back.
The end of what? The dead end?
Here.
Where? Oh, shit. The canyon wall is fading. It's
A Solito hologram. That's a big door.
Locked.
Lucky we had the key.
haha. Your sentimental family heirloom.
It is now. Inside, quick.
Closing door. What now? There's got to be hundreds of them out there.
Trying to get in here.
We ride home in style. Val, get the lights.
Nice. It's a Mark IV medium chum gunship.
Can you fly it?
Does a worm shit in the sand?
Mount up.
You know this is overkill for a bunch of scabs.
The gunship isn't for the scabs. Check the hold.
Shy halud. That's a lot of booze. Stisk, you crafty devil.
Told you, Val. First round's on me.
Buckle in. Next stop, Carthage.
reminding you to ground yourself and your equipment when a sandstorm is reported. Second warnings. But static electricity shorted out our transmitter. As a result, we missed the warning, telling us the storm was bedding down on our position. Aye. Many widows were made that day. Be profitable. Be safe.
Secrets and lies run deep in the crew of a legendary spy craft. It seems there is more to fear on the Dunes than monstrous worms and deadly storms. Sometimes, death comes in the guise of those you trust the most. Join us on our continued search for the truth behind the disappearance of Chief Jarek Thorne. It's Death on the Titan, Episode 2. Web of Fear.
Crew Chief Jarek Thorne died under questionable circumstances following a heated argument with deckhand Rico Marr. And while searching Rico's locker, Captain Noah discovered a coded message from a tradie's intelligence addressed to the dead crew chief. I started the day by reviewing the recording of Captain Noah's initial interrogation of Rico Marr.
Rico, why don't you come clean? We found the Mimic film in your locker. How did it get there? Look, you can tell me. Or you can wait until whatever hatchet man the Spice Miners Guild is sending. And you know what his job is gonna be. Solve Chief Thorne's murder. No, you idiot. Chief Thorne's death is the least of it. The man the Guild sends is here to get the spice flowing again. And that won't happen until the crew settles. It won't? No, fortunately for you. Chief Thorne was well liked, and the crew's out for blood. I suppose the easiest thing for me to do would be to hand you over. If the crew tear you apart, throw the pieces overboard.
I don't know anything about any Mimic film or anything like that. Someone must have lost it.
I need more from you, Rico. How did you know about the message, and who ordered you to steal it?
No. Why would I risk everything for some stupid mess? There's Thorne and I fought. That doesn't mean I killed him.
Rico was adamant that he spent the night of Thorne's murder alone in his bunk. That is, until a witness came forward saying otherwise.
Sorry, Captain, I didn't remember. I did see Rico that night.
You saw him?
I saw the message come in and I took it. I didn't kill Thorne.
It was at this point I arrived on the Titan and witnessed the following.
Why did you take the message?
I thought it might give me some dirt on Thorne. Something I could use against him. He was threatening to ruin my life.
Give me your hand, Rico.
Sir?
Your hand, son. Place it flat on the table. Like this.
Ah!
That knife is clear through your hand. And if you ever want to have relations with it again, it's time to start talking. Or I could just twist.
No further application of pressure was necessary, as Rico Marr finally confessed.
Tessa put me up to it. It was her all along. She knew Thorne was getting those messages. She wanted to expose him. Get him kicked out. It was all her idea.
Tessa Lim, the engineer.
My investigation into Tessa Lim took me to the operator of the sugar wire shack during Thorne's rotation.
Conflict? You could say there was conflict between Thorne and Tessa. We couldn't decide if they hated each other or had some secret, twisted thing going on when no one was looking. Guess hate won out in the end.
What was the source of conflict between Thorne and Tessa?
Everything. Resource allocation to safety protocols. She was never happy with a single decision he made.
What about the encrypted messages?
Thorne received a few of them over the past months. I never decoded them. So
one by one, the pieces began to fall into place. Engineer Tessa had a combative relationship with her crew chief and wanted him out of the way. But I knew there had to be more to it. And to discover what that was, I would have to go to the source. Thank you for cooperating, Tessa.
Oh, what choice do I have?
None. Tell me about Thorn.
Thorn was a special kind of incompetent. The dangerous kind. In spite of what you think, it wasn't personal. His bad decisions put our lives at risk.
He was well regarded by the crew.
Big whoop. So he was popular. Doesn't mean he was good at his job.
How does Rico?
I just hope Rico didn't steal anything. But I knew Thorn was receiving those messages on the down low. And when Rico came back with his face busted in, maybe I put the idea in his head.
To steal the message.
Yeah, but if anyone needs to be investigated here, it's Lena Orlov. Hart and Thorn had something going on.
Interesting. I've heard from others that you and Thorn had something going on.
Don't make me throw up. Jarek Thorn makes the Harkonnen look attractive by comparison.
Tell me about Orlov.
Start with, Rico sleeps in a bunk. Thorn has a cabin with a door. So, unless Orlov can see through wood, how could she know that Rico was in Thorn's quarters that night? She must have been there, right? Inside Thorn's cabin. How else could she have such intimate knowledge of his thoughts and plans?
The accusations were flying fast and loose, and tensions were running high. As I wrapped up the interview with Tessa, she dropped another bombshell.
And if Rico was supposed to be in the sugar wire shack alone that night, where was Jeb, our trusted operator?
The mystery deepens on the Sand Titan as the web of deception grows. What is the truth about the relationship between Thor and his ship supervisor? And what was sugar wire operator Jeb really up to at the time of the murder? The truth is out there, dear listener, buried in the sands of fate. Join us again next time as we uncover more secrets and lies on Death on the Titan.
This is Harvester Radio, the voice of the Spice Miners Guild, broadcasting from Heatherstone Depository at frequency 732.4 on your local Communinet dial.
Shields up!